Today's installment of my record collection will be dealing with John Cale. John Cale of the Velvet Underground. And pretty fitting because the last video I did was about Brian Eno records, and there's quite a bit of crossover between the two. Remind you that I'm not a completist, and at some point I pretty much stopped buying LPs, vinyl, and pretty much only bought CDs. Not exclusively, but here we go. So I don't have all the rarities. I don't have many of the rarities. Just what I've collected over the years for listening to. His first solo, Vintage Violence, and this was on Columbia, and I had forgotten that when I bought this sealed new. It had come without an inner sleeve. And so I noticed this is a Warner Brothers sleeve. I must have pulled it out of some other record or it was laying around. We have John Cale and Terry Riley, Church of Anthrax. And this is a British release. Really nice condition. Looks real nice. It's the CBS, made in England. That's the label. I don't think that's a real rarity. This is a little bit harder to come by. The Academy in Pearl with the Andy Warhol rubber stamp and the die cut cover. It does have, it's a really nice shape. It does have the corner cut. That's how I got it. But it's on Reprise Records. Let's see. The brown Reprise label. Paris 1919, one of my all-time favorites. And this, I believe, is the U.S. version with, it's on the brown Reprise label, and it has the lyric sheet with it. What an extra. And then the British release of Paris 1919. You notice the slight a bit different shade, or maybe one's just worn. Then I got a bunch of Fear. This is a British Fear, and I think these are all, I got a bunch of them, so they're all different releases. This is the Island release. This is, oh, I only have three. This is the Blue Island label release. There it is, Fear. And the U.S. release with this. This is the difference between that and the British release. British release has nothing on the front. The U.S., because we need to be, here in the U.S., we need to be told what we're buying. It's improper to not know what's in the record you're buying, and the U.S. Island label. And then I stumbled across this one years ago, the Hear Fear interview with John Cale. It's a plain cover. It's a promo sent to radio stations to promote Fear, and that's the label it's on. Kind of interesting. Bit of a rarity. They also have two British versions of Helen of Troy. This one is, I think, an early British release. And let me see, it has the printed inner on Island. And this one is the well, it's listed as a mispressing because it has Coral Moon instead of leaving it up to you. And I know that because I've played it. So a little rarer than the other versions. No, I thought, okay, so Slow Dazzle is a real beat up. Got a bunch of these really beat up. I don't know why I came across this or why I have it. The Black Island label. Slow Dazzle. Another Slow Dazzle with, let's see which label this is. The Blue Island label. Another Slow Dazzle. And this is the Island label. See, with the little island. And another Slow Dazzle with the printed inner sleeve. And which label is this? This is the Island label. Once again, I only have one. I think there's only one release of this. Animal Justice on Illegal Records. And the Comp Guts on Antilles. Black Antilles label. Sabotage Live. I remember running down to the store to pick this up when it came out. And it's on IRS, or Spy label, sorry. Or IRS, whatever it is. IRS Spy. See that? Oniswa. This is the U.S. release of Oniswa. It has a printed inner sleeve with the lyrics on A&M. The man's on some major labels, isn't he? Then Music for a New Society on ZE Records. ZE Island. Really nice shape with the printed advert inner. ZE Records. John Cale Comes Alive. It had to come out. So there's a couple tracks. Ooh La La and Never Give Up on You. And sandwiched in between, I believe, is live. I think those two are studio recordings. This also has the printed advert inner sleeve, but on the gold, yellow ZE label. Caribbean Sunset. Really liked this one when it came out. And when I was traveling, I was in Virginia, I saw this in a record store. Didn't even know it was out. It had just come out. Picked it up on the ZE label. 12-inch maxi single, Villa Abani, Hungry for Love. 12-inch on the bluish, dark blue Island ZE label. Artificial Intelligence. And this is, it has a printed inner with lyrics, drawings, and it is on the Beggars Banquet, red Beggars Banquet label. The 12-inch Dying on the Vine with Every Time the Dogs Bark, Beggars Banquet. This is Beggars Banquet label. There's a bunch of stuff thrown in here. I guess ads. I don't know why there's a review of Oniswa thrown in here. So now we're going to move on to, that's the end of the proper John Cale releases. So there's some oddballs, odds and ends, bands, recordings that I don't have. I just threw them in with John Cale. Well, mostly because they include John Cale in some way or another in them. This is tax-free. Here's a sticker. It's still in the shrink. $5.39 from Record Shop. It's the Record Shop price. Tax-free. Polydor. Here's the Polydor thing on the front. And has the Polydor ad on the inside. Ads for other records. And I think this is a repressing. I don't think this is the initial release. The Disco Cone, I looked this up and I didn't realize that it's produced by John Cale. The name of the artist, Christina something or other, is not on this. But this came out as a 7-inch and it came out as something else. Disco Clone English, Disco Clone French, and it says, this record is one of a limited edition of 1,500. Boy, was I the lucky one to grab one of these. IRS Greatest Hits, tossed it in with Cale, even though there's a lot of stuff on here that I like The Fall, Cramps. Anyway, this is a double, and it has, I think the only Cale song on it is Memphis. Not really one of my favorites. IRS Greatest Hits, Volume 2 and 3. Got to run down to your record store and pick one of those up. Really nice shape, though. It's really, really beautiful condition. And here's what I never really, just like the tax-free, I never really took a liking to. Mike Haran, Smiling Men with Bad Reputations. Really, really excellent shape, except for the corner cut. This opens up. And it's not that I didn't like it through fault of not listening to it. I just never really liked it. It's on the Elektra label. And John Cale appears on this. And lastly, I tossed this in only because I have no other Nico vinyl, and it's produced by John Cale. Nico, it looks like a 12-inch single. My Funny Valentine. Well, that's it. Oh, before we move on, almost forgot the 45s, the 7-inch records. Big White Cloud Columbia promo. And Days of Steam promo with Legs Larry at Television Center. Gotta have one of those. Animal Justice 7-inch. John Cale, Ready for War, Mercenaries Ready for War, and Rose Garden Funeral Sewers. I don't know why I have two of these. I think there's only one pressing of this. Maybe I just stumbled upon an extra. And here is Dead or Alive on A&M. And The Hunger for Love. 45, taken from the album Caribbean Sunset. And this was on the Eno video I did because it has Eno, Ring of Fire, but this is John Cale, Shuffle Down to Woodbridge, and this was a Soil X promo release to coincide with their CD release of Wrong Way Up. They sent these out to radio stations or something like that. Well, goodbye. Thanks for watching. It's been great. Please subscribe to this channel if you're watching and you like the content of it. Thank you.